My husband requested a prenup before we got married, so I added a small exception in it, and now he's rethinking our marriage. When my fiancé first mentioned wanting a prenuptial agreement, I completely understood. If I were in his financial situation, I'd ask for one too. I'm 29 with $500,000 in assets, but his net worth dwarfs mine. I respected his need to protect what he'd built. What he didn't expect was that I had my own protection in mind. My father had multiple affairs throughout his marriage to my mother. Her screams and sobs when she found out are burned into my memory forever. I was 18 when I watched my mother discover the final betrayal that ended their marriage. She'd trusted him completely, had no legal protection, and lost everything. When my fiancé brought up the prenup after we got engaged, I did my research. If I'm paying a lawyer to review his asset protection clauses, I wanted something too. An infidelity clause felt like justice for that 18-year-old girl who watched her mother's world crumble. I don't think my fiancé would cheat, but I didn't think my father would destroy his family either. The clause feels like fire insurance after your house burns down. When I first brought this up 3 months ago, he seemed uncomfortable, but eventually agreed. His lawyer was still drafting the prenup, so we had time. I thought we were on the same page. Tonight at dinner, everything changed. He brought up reviewing the documents, and I mentioned adding the infidelity clause. His face went white, then red. This clause is just going to cause more back and forth with lawyers, he said, his voice tight. I don't want to deal with that hassle. I suggested we work out terms together, like we'd done with his clauses. That's when he really lost it. We'd have to define what counts as cheating, he said, pacing. What if you decide to divorce me and just claim I cheated? What if I'm alone with a female colleague and you call that cheating? I stared at him, caught off guard. In divorce court, you need hard evidence. Photos, documentation, admission. You can't just make accusations. His reaction felt irrational, desperate, like he was grasping for excuses. Why are you suddenly not okay with this? I asked. 3 months ago, you agreed. He avoided eye contact. I would never cheat, and I don't even want to think about cheating. Adding this clause forces me to think about it. The irony wasn't lost on me. He could think about protecting his money, but not my emotional well-being. You're acting like someone who has something to hide, I said quietly. Why are you so afraid of consequences for something you'd never do? He looked at me with an expression I'd never seen before. Guilt, fear, that's not fair, he said. Just because I don't want this clause doesn't mean I'm planning to cheat. Then why does the idea terrify you so much? He walked out without answering. I called my lawyer that night. I need that infidelity clause ironclad. The next morning, I found him staring at his computer. Maybe we should postpone the wedding, he said. Maybe we're not ready. Because I want an infidelity clause? Because you don't trust me. Because you're planning our divorce before we're married. I sat down, surprisingly calm. When you asked for a prenup, I didn't accuse you of planning divorce. I respected your need for security. But when I ask for the same respect, I'm the problem? It's different, he muttered. Money is different than fidelity. Both clauses are about consequences for betrayal. You value financial security, I value emotional security. The only difference is your betrayal would be theft, mine would be adultery. He stared at me, then said something chilling. What if I've already made mistakes? What if there are things you don't know about? The room went silent. I felt 18 again, watching my mother's world collapse. What kind of mistakes? He put his head in his hands. There was someone. During our engagement, my ex-girlfriend Lisa. She reached out when we got engaged. It only happened twice. It's over now. Everything went numb. You cheated during our engagement, and now you're panicking about a fidelity clause. You're not rethinking marriage because I don't trust you. You're rethinking it because you can't be trusted. The prenup never got signed. The wedding was canceled 2 weeks later. I kept the ring and sold it, donating the money to a women's shelter.